My friends, Daily Dose. So there was a study, by the way, I'm in my children's playroom slash guest room. Just seemed like a random place to do the dose. I thought, well, why not? Why not, right? Well, I'd already come in from my office for the evening, so it just seemed logical. Listen, I was reading a book the other day. It was really fascinating. They were talking about that they did a study at an Ivy League university of about 200 college students. This was about 15 years ago. And what they found was that the determining factor that decided whether or not these college students created massive success later in life, or mediocre success, or no success, or found themselves destitute as their lives went on. You know, they measured all kinds of things. They measured their self-discipline, they measured their IQ, they measured their work ethic, they measured all kinds of things during this study. This study went on for years. Here's what they came to. After it was all said and done, here's what they determined. The number one determining factor for deciding whether these kids were going to go on to be prosperous and have abundance in their lives or whether they were going to struggle was a one-word answer that is not commonly used in language, but everybody knows what it means. Grit. Isn't that weird? So they do this big scientific study, and they come back with, hey, the number one determining factor is grit. Well, what in the world is grit? Here's what they determined. Grit is that self-discipline that just some people have to just get it done. They're just willing to do whatever it takes. They're just willing to get uncomfortable if that's what it takes. They're willing to stay late if that's what it takes. They're willing to dig harder to find the answer if that's what it takes. It's just that self-discipline to push through, try harder, do more, one more try, one last push, the last ounce of effort. You know, athletes, some of the most successful athletes in the world are the ones with grit. You know, the ones that just leave it all on the field. You know, they walk off just sweat pouring off and bloodied up and just, you know, Jason Witten for the Dallas Cowboys is a great example of grit. The dude just doesn't quit, you know. And we all know people with grit. Don't we know people with grit? And so even though I don't necessarily know that it's easily defined, I don't know if I can give you a Webster-style definition of grit, but we all kind of know what it is. But here's the great thing about grit. It's not something that you're just born with or you're not. You can develop it. You can harness it. You can grow it. And so here's what I would say. If we know that the number one determining factor of whether college kids go on to do great things or not is grit, then we need to get some. And here's the best way to develop a habit or habits or habit patterns of people with grit. And that is finish what you start. Finish what you start and leave it all on the field. You know, I had a college or a high school football coach who used to say, Brian, leave it all on the field. You know, what you take off the field with you isn't going to help you win the game. Leave it all there. And that's what you got to have. That's what grit is. It's leaving it all on the field. It's knowing that if you get there and reach your goal, fantastic. But even if you don't, you did every single thing in your power to make it happen. There's not a single thing you could have done more to bring it to fruition. And guess what? Even if you miss your goal, if you can say, there's not a single thing more I could have done, then you can lay your head on the pillow soundly and sleep like a baby at night. And that's what really all of us want is peace of mind. I mean, we want all the goals that we've laid out for ourselves, but really at the end of the day, we want to know we gave it all. We want to know we left it all on the field. We want to know we attacked this life and our goals with grit. So finish what you start, whatever it takes. And that's the dose. Go out there, make it a great day.